Hello. Hello, my dear friends. Good day. It's another episode on My Voice, Your Voice. Today, I have a very interesting guest and friend, Colette Moriss. But before I go into this show, I would like to dedicate this show to my sister and friend, Adeline Sama. She died yesterday. And I was so devastated that I even thought of postponing the show. But when I spoke to some of my friends who know, who knew Adeline, they said, that I even thought of postponing the show. Girls, put it. But when I spoke to some of my friends who knew Adeline, they gave me the courage and they told me, you have to do this show because that is what Adeline would have loved. Because she was somebody who would do anything to help another person. And because you are doing this show on behalf of women and helping women, Adeline would have loved you to do the show. So I will be hosting this show and dedicating this episode to Adeline Sama. Welcome, my friends. This is Rene Anita, your friend, on the second episode of My Voice, Your Voice, a platform for authentic conversation. Last week, I told you that this platform was simply to bring women, feature them on this show so that they could share their stories, their life journeys, challenges, failures, and successes, so that other women can learn and be inspired to move ahead. Because I always say that together we grow. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with people. Because My Voice, Your Voice intends to go far. We are going along with all the women who are ready to step forward and let their voice be heard on the show. Hi, Colette. You are welcome. How is the UK today?
Hello, fine. Yeah, we're having lovely weather here in the UK.
Hi, Bridget, my friend. How are you doing? Thank you for the moral support.
I'm fabulous. Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
And sorry for your loss again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It has not been easy for me, but God is in control. Happy Pentecost to all my friends. I know last week we told you we are also women of faith. So today is Pentecost Sunday, and we are wishing everybody who is on this show a happy Pentecost. So I'd like to introduce Colette. Colette is a mother and grandmother, though she doesn't look like a grandmother. She supports and coaches women who have gone through or are going through redundancy or uncertain moments in life. She supports those who wish to transition from uncertainty, the midlife crisis, menopause, relationships, breakdowns, struggling with their finances, mentally and physically exhausted, to a transmutation to regain their inner strength and queendom, to positive individuals who are equipped and informed to take the relevant action into rethinking their purpose in life. I love this rethinking their purpose in life. Colette, could you tell us a little bit about yourself so that our audience can get to know you more?
Okay, thank you very much, Renee, for that. And again, my sympathies goes out to you and at the loss of such a dear friend at this time. And also for your courage for coming on still to continue the good work that you started with My Voice, Your Voice. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
My journey started quite a few years back, actually. I became interested in nutrition really because of my mother. And it was because she reached her later years and started developing diabetes. And being from a Afro-Caribbean background, diabetes is something that affects us all, particularly from this, you know, from this diversity, this part of the population. And I really wanted to look at, particularly for my mum, how I can help her come off those diabetic tablets that the doctor had put her on. Because ultimately, my belief is that whatever she has, I'll end up having, and I definitely didn't want diabetes. So I did a lot of research into nutrition and what causes diabetes, and if you can cure it. And through doing a lot of the research, I found that it's all down to a few things, mainly foods and also exercise. Now, when I looked at the foods that my mum was eating, particularly from, if you're from an Afro-Caribbean culture, you're used to eating a lot of carbohydrates and you eat them all together. So I found that this was the problem. And through doing tweaks along the years, it helped to, you know, take things out, put different things in, and that actually helped to, along the way, reduce the level of sugar in her blood. And it was re-educating her as well, you know, which isn't easy for someone in their later years. So, you know, the kind of things that I did with her was to sort of educate her to say, if you're going to have what we call hard food, and these are the yams, the banana, potatoes with rice, you either have one or the other. You don't have both, because they're used to having everything on one plate. And it's this that causes the sugar spike in the blood, and eventually for the sugar to actually override the body and causes diabetes in the long run. So if we educate our people right from the beginning that you can eat the foods that you love, you can eat the traditional foods, but it's how you eat it. And it's how and when you eat it as well, because some of us tend to eat late at night when we're hungry. Instead of having a snack, we have a big pot of food. And, you know, it's these kind of things that we have to educate people on, to say that, no, you know, before, if you're going to go to bed, don't go to bed on a full belly. Just have something light, because it's not going to digest properly. So really, it was that journey for my mum that helped me really get into nutrition. And actually, at the time, I was a project manager, and I educated myself. I took quite a few qualifications to become a nutritionist, and I was giving guidance to my friends, and that sort of led to people getting results. And I thought, you know what, why not do this and see if I can help other people? And that's how it came about, really.
Thank you so much for that brief summary about your journey into being a nutritionist. But before we go on, I would like you to tell our audience something about Colette. Who is Colette?
Good question. It took me ages to find out who Colette was, but Colette is a human who is fun-loving. She loves to nurture, she loves to guide, she loves to teach. And I didn't find this out until a period in my life came about where I was separated. I became separated from my husband, left alone with 2 young boys, and trying to find my purpose during that time. Trying to find out who was Colette during that time, because I'd gone from, as most of us do, we go from being from home to being with a partner, then becoming a mother. And, you know, who are you? Because you haven't been on your own long enough to discover who you are. And it was only at that point of the separation that I took time out to find me, Colette. What do I like? What do I don't like? And all the fun things that I am. So that's who I am, and that's how I found me.
So if somebody were to ask you the question, what are some of the steps that I need to take, for example, me, to discover who I am? Because what happens in life is that there are so many people who don't even know who they are. Just like you said, it took you some time to discover who you are. This is a platform where we have to be authentic. I'm still in the process of discovering who I am. Sometimes I think I know who I am. And sometimes I start questioning, is this really me? Maybe there's something. So What led to this discovery?
Well, really, again, as I said, that trigger point was the fact that I was left on my own. And I began to rethink your life, rethink your values. Who am I? Why am I here? You know, and you really question yourself deeply. And then I was questioning myself about, you know, the the cause of, you know, the situation. Was it me? Am I fat? Am I ugly? Am I uninteresting? Am I boring? And when you know, I suffered from really low self-esteem, but at the time, you know, from a work environment perspective, from a professional perspective, no one would have known that, because, you know, I went to work as a professional, and it's like I had one face for when I was actually in the office, dealing with whatever I had to deal with work wise, then coming home, being a mum and sorting the kids out. And after you put them to bed, that's when you break down and cry, and you question yourself, and you feel really low, almost to the point of, I would say, being depressed, because that is the reality of it. You get to the point when you're really, really low. You question yourself in all aspects, and it's like, how could I be this person? And you even begin, when you're at work, to feel like a fake, like a failure, but you're not showing it, but you feel it inside. So you know, it was with these thoughts and with these feelings that I said, I'm going to try and find me. I'm going to try and find, what do I like? Who is Colette? You know, and it took me a while. As you said, it took me personally 5 years of a journey of my life to find out what I liked, what I didn't like, what makes me laugh, what makes me tick. My laughter coming back into my life, my own fun self coming back, took me a while, because all that had been not taken away, but dampened down in the relationship. While you become a mother and a wife and just working, you kind of dampen um, your own spirits down, really, just to make life comfortable and flowing at home. So, you know, it was with these looking back, when I looked back at, well, why did I lose sight of myself? It's because I never really had given myself the opportunity to be me within the relationship. So,
I know I can relate very much with what you are saying, because most often, especially women, we have two selves, like you said, the one that people see outside and admire, and the one that you feel. We often do everything to keep every other person comfortable, and then you sink into your bed, or you, when you are in your shower, where you know nobody's gonna see the tears, you start throwing down the tears. So I think that is one of the things that our audience listening to us should start asking themselves, who am I? To try to find their real self, because we hide in a cocoon and we always seek validation. We want people to tell us who we are. That is why when you dress up so well, you always look for a second opinion to tell you you're looking cute or you're looking gorgeous. You have to be able to find yourself. So you are so lucky. I'm glad that you found yourself. So I think
very
that is
true.
something, that's something which we need to help women to be able to do. What will you tell another woman who is seeking to find herself?
First of all, you've got to learn to love you, who you are, as you are, where you are in your present time. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that, because for me, when I started self-doubting and looking at the confidence issues that I had, I then sort of like had to be that other person, like you said, almost, to then sort of turn around and say, well, actually, I am pretty. You know, I'm not bad looking for my age. You know, you have to boost your own self up, because if you can't do it, then who else is going to do it for you? Because you know what? No one else can. And it's the same like when they say no one else can upset you but you. Because at the end of the day, words are just words, but it's how you take them on board, and it's how you're affected by them. But if you have that ultimate confidence in yourself, who you are, love who you are as you are, and who you are becoming, then that will definitely give you the confidence to move on. So my advice would be to start by looking at yourself and loving every part of your body, loving the little things about you. And just start with one little thing that you like about yourself. Even if you feel that, oh my God, I hate how I look, or I hate how my clothes are hanging on me, I hate the way my hair is, just say to yourself at the end of the day, what are the things that you like? Well, I've got a pretty smile when I smile. Start with the pretty smile. Yeah.
Thank you
Develop
so
that
much.
confidence.
Thank you so much for that confidence boost. So let's go back to our topic of nutrition. Nutrition is one of the area where, I won't lie to you, I fail very badly. I fail very badly because I want to lose weight, but I'm not willing to do what it takes to lose the weight. I heard one speaker say you should talk about shedding weight because when you talk of losing weight, then you easily gain it. So can you speak into that?
Yeah, definitely. Because at the end of the day, we're all human and we're all
Excuse
different.
me,
So
ladies.
one
Can I
diet
just
does
say
not
something?
suit all.
Hey, ladies. Colette, thank you for your great presentation so far. I'm really enjoying it. But I need you to please, one of you, to turn down your phones, make it silent because our audience are having double audios and it's interfering with what you are saying, and we don't want to lose any nuggets that you are sharing today. We don't want to lose any of that. Thank you, girls. Just put it on silent. That's all. Mine is on silent.
My phone is on silent.
Or reduce the volume on your phone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that interjection. So let's get back to Colette.
Yeah, well, from the aspects of diets, all diets work. Every single one of them. Okay.
Wow.
If you're going to go on the Special K diet and you're eating 3 bowls of Special K a day, it will work. You will lose weight. You lose inches. But how sustainable is that diet? And that's what's the important thing here. Okay. Diet in itself means how you eat, what you eat, when you eat. It's not a matter about reducing portion size, going on ketone diets, going on low fat diets or anything like that. That isn't what diet means. Diet is how you eat, what you eat, when you eat. Okay. The first thing that I say to my clients is that as soon as you say to people you can't have or you restrict them, what do they want to do? They want to eat that food. Yeah. So the whole point of, first of all, to actually be able to lose weight, you've got to change your mindset, because it's not just about the food, it's about your mindset as well. And this is what I've learned over the years, which is why I've gone into that way of working with people and their mindset and the reason why they want to lose the weight in the first place. And, what I find, particularly when you reach sort of like 45 and you're going towards that menopause, it gets harder and harder to actually lose weight, even though you're doing what you used to do when you were younger. You're not eating, overly eating, you're still exercising, but the weight doesn't seem to come off. Well, newsflash, we have hormones, and our hormones in our body change as we get older. It's actually harder for us as women to lose weight as we get older, because our metabolism slows down naturally anyway. Some are blessed with a fast metabolism, but most of us are blessed with our metabolism slowing down. So it's looking at the food that you eat. What foods can you eat to actually trigger your metabolism to make it speed up? What exercises can you do to speed up your metabolism? You don't need to be in the gym for an hour a day or 45 minutes. You can speed up your metabolism in as little as 10 minutes a day on an exercise if you know which exercises to do. And this is the thing that I'm learning, because I'm not a personal trainer on that aspect of it, but from the nutrition side of things, there are things that you can do with what you eat, how you eat, when you eat. And as they say, the age-old adage of what they say about dieting, still stands. You make sure that you have a really good breakfast to set up your day. When you have your lunch, you kind of trim that down a little bit so you don't eat as much. particularly if you're working, you don't want a lot of carbs because that's what sends you to sleep in the afternoon. So, I mean, if you've actually eaten a lot of food at lunchtime and then you fall asleep at 2 o'clock when you should be in a meeting, it's because you're heavy on carbs. It's taking your body a lot to digest that food, and it can't digest the food and keep your energy going. So it shuts you down. It makes you want to sleep. That is the whole purpose of your body. And in the evenings, again, eat light. It doesn't mean you can't eat your favorite foods. You just choose when to eat them.
From what you just said, there is one thing which came out, which I like to highlight. It's about mindset. And that is so true. Many people who want to lose weight, it's about their mindset, about how they feel in the skin in which they are currently. And so, when a lot of us have a fixed mindset. We just believe that because we are fat, we look ugly, we don't look beautiful in our dresses. We start losing our self-confidence. But when I started studying about mindset, I came across Dr. Carol Dweck's book. She talks about mindset, and she breaks down mindset into two kinds of mindset. You have a fixed mindset, and you have a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is that person who has very fixed ideas about what should happen. And she said most often people who do very well always tend to have this fixed mindset because they are like, I know this, I don't need to work hard to get it, I just have to get it. But those who have a growth mindset, they are like, I'm not good at this, but I know I can get better at this if I work hard at this. So I am joining you to let our audience know that your size is okay if you choose to make it okay. Because I believe very much in God, and I don't think that the world would have been exciting if everybody was as slim as we expect everybody to be. The different sizes and shapes gives the diversity which we have on earth. So it's all about mindset. What do you believe about yourself? So if you start changing, then the second thing that came, it's about sustainability, because that is the problem I, for one, have faced with diet. Sometimes you go on a diet and you are so fascinated by the diet, you love it, you discover that you've shed some pounds, and then you get tired, you get bored, you get weary. It's like you're depriving yourself from some things that you like. And because of that, most often you tend to fall off the diet and go back into your normal life. So what I really want to project there is the fact that a diet should be something that you can sustain for the rest of your life. So I know I don't want to go above a certain weight, not because I doubt myself or I don't have confidence in myself, but because health-wise, I need to be strong. I need to have energy to do the things that I can do. And so I decide to reduce the carbohydrates that I take in. Mm-hmm. I don't want to starve myself or start missing something, because just that can send you into depression.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, we should all be happy with ourselves. Oh, I can hear something go.
Go ahead.
Okay. At the end of the day, we should all be happy with ourselves. Oh, I don't think it's mine.
Just make sure that all your other...
Okay. So at the end of the day, we should all be happy with ourselves in the first instance. We should all know why we want to lose weight, and look at how much weight is safe to lose for your height and your build. Most of the people that I work with lose weight because of health reasons. They need to lose weight because of health reasons. And for me personally, it seems like I'm always on a diet. It's not because I want to get skinnier. It's because I want to make sure that my health stays until I get old, because I know how important it is to work on yourself. It's not easy, but it's something that, you know, as I said, diabetes my mom had. I've reached the age of, you know, in my late 50s now, and I have got no blood pressure. I don't have any cholesterol. I don't have any joint pains like arthritis or anything like that per se. And it's because of looking after myself. Yes, some may say I'm blessed with good health, but also you've got to work on it as well, I believe, which is why it's important to look at supplementation and look at what you're eating as well. So they're the two keys that are really important. Exercise as well, get out there and make sure you do exercise on a day-to-day basis, because especially if you're, you know, with the lockdown and everything, it's been difficult for some to go out and exercise, but you know, just walking can help, or even just doing because there's a lot of YouTube videos that you can watch on yoga and different types of exercise. If you love dancing, then put the music on and just dance, you know. But as long as we move, and that's the really important thing, move and stretch, because as you get older, your joints stiffen up. Why? Because you're not moving them like you did when you were a child. You're not putting your hands above your head. You're not putting your hands behind your back. You're not touching your toes. You're not bending down. You know, these things, these little things, if you don't do them regularly, then you'll start to feel stiff, stiffen up and have problems. And we need to just keep moving and keep stretching. As we get older, it's even more important, because we lose muscle mass as we get older as well. And, you know, one way that you can keep toning with the muscle mass is like, you know, at least once a week when you go shopping, walk with those heavy bags, because that's your weight training. That's what will help, seriously, you know, just to keep those muscles there. You don't have to go in the gym and be working out to get your muscles, you know, so just little things like that can help as well.
So, Colette, there's this belief that the breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Could you speak into that?
Yeah, definitely. Your breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Why? Because you've been fasting while you're sleeping. So if the last meal that you had was 8 o'clock in the evening before, and you have not had anything else to eat, then you've gone into fast mode, which the body needs to do, because the body needs to go through a process of eliminating the foods that you've eaten. And that's when it does, when you're sleeping, believe it or not. So that's why it's really important to not snack after a certain time of night, because all it's going to be doing is just sitting in your digestive system, because everything shuts down so that the body can then do the other processes it needs to do overnight. And another important reason why you need to get a good, you know, at least 6.5 hours minimum, but 8 hours of sleep per night, for the body to actually rest and repair. And that's its period of resting and repairing. You know, I don't know if you heard a few years ago when the artist called Prince passed away, and they say it's because he stayed up for about 3 days without sleep, and his body just needed sleep. Yeah, and he passed away from exhaustion. Can you imagine?
I know.
Yeah.
The other day when we were talking about this nutrition, you made it very clear to us that sleep is one of the issues, that if we don't sleep, it causes us to put on some weight. Can you talk to our audience about that? Because that was a big realization for me.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, as I explained to you before, the body goes through that process of elimination, but it also goes through detoxing and cleansing. I don't know if you also notice when you wake up first thing in the morning and you want to go to the toilet to, you know, empty your bladder, and
Yes.
urine in there is actually a darker color. That's because of all the toxins it's been processing through overnight. You know, so that is why sleep is really important, because we are actually getting rid of all the unused or unnecessary fats and toxins as well. Water is another thing that's equally important. And you know, I've been reading up, some people say you should drink a glass of water before you go to bed, because that actually helps with the detoxing of the body, of the liver and the kidneys overnight as well. So that's maybe something we should all be doing. You know, and having a drink first thing in the morning, having a glass of water first thing in the morning. I have a bottle beside my bed. And the reason for that is, again, because you've been fasting for the hours that you've been sleeping, your body has been eliminating water, so you're dehydrated. So drinking that water first thing before you get up helps to rehydrate the body as well, and helps you to kickstart your digestive system, to give you that energy to bounce out of bed.
So where I also have a coach and mentor that I listen and I follow his teaching, Michael O'Neill, and he was talking about nutrition, and he said just the same thing that you are saying, that all diet works. But he said there are he listed 3 key things to losing weight. He said, eat only when you are hungry, eat what you like, and stop when you are full. Mm-hmm. Can you speak into that? Because from what you are saying, I can see what you are saying being coming down to these 3 principles.
Most definitely. And sometimes we overeat. I'm even guilty of that myself.
You can say that again. All of us are guilty.
All of us are guilty. All of us. There's no perfect human being, unfortunately. And yes, I have my downfalls in snacking. I love cheese. And the only thing with me is when I have a glass of wine, I must have cheese and biscuits with it. I can't drink a glass of wine without cheese and biscuits. But at the end of the day, you know, portion size, because as you get older, you're not moving as much. So you don't need to eat as much. And what we forget is, as we get older, we're eating the same amount, but not doing as much. Particularly if you're at a sit-down job, you should be eating less on that plate, because you're not utilizing the energy to actually warrant eating all that food. Because remember, food is energy. That's all food is. If you imagine your body as a car, food is the fuel that you're putting in the car. So if you put too much fuel in the car, what happens? It spills over, and it will only go the same amount of distance it did before. Yeah. So what we have to remember is, as we get older, we need to eat less. We need to cut down what we're eating. Okay. So portion size. With my mum, you know, when she had her diabetes, she was eating the same as when she was, I guess, in her 50s, a big plate of food. And then, you know, she was having breakfast, a healthy breakfast. She was having her porridge and everything. But then lunchtime, she was eating something really big. And then dinner time, she had a big plate of food as well. So, you know, no wonder her diabetes, it crept up on her. But I cut her down with her program. And it was like, Mum, your breakfast is healthy. Eat your breakfast. And you know, you need to maybe put a little snack in there in between that and lunch, only because of the diabetes. You want to make sure that their blood sugar level is balanced. So it was like, okay, this is what she was eating for her typical breakfast. She was having like porridge, fruit salad, and an orange. Okay, and it was like, okay, Mum, that's a bit too much. You need to just have the porridge. And then maybe in your afternoon, in your mid-morning snack, either have a fruit salad or an orange. Okay. And then for your lunch, have a can of soup, Mum, with some bread, you know, to fill you up, sort of thing. And then for dinner, just have your dinner as you would, but just a smaller portion, you know. So it's cutting down the amount of food she was eating, and also when she was eating, because she wasn't very active during the day. Okay. You know, and she was eating all this food, and that's what it wasn't, because when you eat too much carbs, it turns to sugar, and sugar then turns to fat, which means you then put weight on. And because of the excess weight she was carrying, it also, she developed cholesterol, because diabetes and cholesterol go together. They both go together. So in order to reduce her cholesterol and her diabetes, I said to her, do more exercise. And that meant for her going to the shops, which is about half a mile away. And she said, well, I go every morning. And I said to her, well, go twice a day then. You know, so she went in the morning. So she went in the morning, and then she'd go again at lunchtime. And just doing that extra walk actually helped her to lose weight. And by losing the weight, her blood pressure came down, her sugar levels came down, and her cholesterol levels came down. And eventually over time, through swapping foods, because again, you know, sometimes we love our food, and you can't say to someone, no, you can't have that, but there is a healthy way to eat it. So you find a healthy way to eat what you love. And it could be changing things like swapping out dairy for alternatives. It could be swapping out the type of oil that you're using for a more healthier oil. You know, my mum developed lactose intolerance, but she insisted on having lots of milk, even though she had a lactose intolerance. But we changed, you know, the little things in her diet like that, and that actually helped. Not only we saw with her skin, she had a persistent cough, and that was due to the milk, believe it or not, the lactose in the milk. Yeah. And so when we changed it, after about 10 days, the cough went. And she'd had this cough for months. And I was saying to her, Mum, it's dairy. No, it's not the dairy. It's not the milk. I've been drinking milk all my life. But the thing is, as we get older, we develop intolerances that we never had when we were younger. And this is what people need to realize as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Colette. When I looked at your bio, I saw one of your objectives is to help women gain their queendom. I like you to speak into that. That was so unique.
Well, basically, it's just about the confidence that we have, because at the end of the day, you know, for me, women are underrated. We're undervalued and underrated, seriously, by all areas in society, even within our homes sometimes. And what people don't realize is that we give birth. We are the ones that give birth. We are the ones that birth these great leaders, whether they're good or bad. It is us, down to us women. Yeah. And for us, the way I see us as queens is that because we give birth, we are natural nurturers. We nurture our children into whatever it is they want to be. And I know that a lot of us as women, we want the best for our children. We want them to be better than us. And we nurture them into that. But we also nurture them into the realities of the world outside there. But there are some of us who may have been downtrodden for whatever reason by their partner, by the society that they actually come from, live in, and feel that their self-worth is not as much. And what we need to do is just to go out there and reach people and say, actually, you know what, you are worth more than you think you are. Because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for us as women, then the men wouldn't be here. Think about it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. I wish everybody could think that way.
So we've got to lift up our queens. We've got to lift up our queens and let those who, you know, who are in a low place or a low point in life, inspire them to come up with you. When you rise up, you should be pulling others with you. We're not here to compete with each other. We shouldn't be competing with each other, because ultimately we all have the same goal. We want the best for women, for others around us. But why compete? Why be on your own? As you mentioned before, right at the beginning, you know, if you want to go fast, go. If you want to go fast, then be on your own. But if you want to go far, then have the tribe. And that's what we need to do.
Okay. Thank you to all our audience. I can see Martin Estrada and Emily Ngeli watching. Thank you for watching. Colette is also ready to answer your questions. If you have any questions about nutrition that you want to ask Colette, please do ask Colette. Again, I said I'm doing this particular episode and I'm dedicating it to Adeline Sama, who died yesterday. And even though I didn't want to come up with the show, I still decided to do it because I know that is what she would have wanted me to do, because she was somebody who loved to help women. So I can see Nicoline Egu watching. Please send us your questions. We want to answer your questions. So Colette, if you were to give, like, let's say, a takeaway to somebody who has been watching this show, what will your main takeaway message be?
My main takeaway message would be for someone who really wants to improve all areas of their life, their confidence, the look, the way they feel. It all starts with mindset. And if you've got the right mindset, then you will achieve whatever you set out to achieve, whether it's losing weight, whether it's to drop a dress size, whether it's to improve your health. Because sometimes, we do things to improve our health and it will lead to other things. And when you improve your health, your confidence grows. When you lose weight and you can fit into what you feel as nice clothes, you feel different, you grow, and your confidence grows. Your outlook changes. So for me, the main takeaway would be is to be confident with yourself, change your mindset. And the way you do that is to look up to someone in a position where you would like to be. Look up to someone who is already in that place where you want to be and aspire to be like them, because that is how you pull yourself up.
Thank you so much. When I know you are somebody who also does a lot of work in the field of relationship, can you say something on that and why you feel particularly called to do something on relationships?
Well, to me, the most important thing was because I've had one failed relationship, I looked at how I could improve myself, because ultimately, you can't do anything about improving someone else, but you can do something about improving you. And if you change yourself to the way you react to that other person in that relationship, that in itself will be a trigger for how they react to you. Because if they are used to you reacting in a certain way and you suddenly change and start acting differently, they're going to question and look at how you're carrying on, and you'll begin to see changes of them towards you. Yeah. So with relationships, two of you need to work on it, and it's true, you both need to work on it, but ultimately you need to work on yourself more, because if, as Jim Rohn says, for things to change, you have to change. And that's my philosophy.
Yeah, as Carl Jung also said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at also change.
Exactly.
And there's one thing I always tell women when I work with women. I always let them know that change begins with you, just like you have said. You can't expect to change the other person, but you can change yourself to enable a change in the other person. So that, for me, that is relationship 101.
Definitely.
For me, that is relationship. I know you are a woman too who has multiple stream of income, and there is this. Those of us who are entrepreneurs, we are telling people if you want to have financial freedom, you need to have multiple streams of income. What can you say to encourage a woman who is looking into studying multiple streams of income? I know you are in Herbalife. Maybe you want to say something. What took you there and how it has helped you to encourage other women?
Well, I was actually in Herbalife a long, long time ago. That was actually my very first network marketing company, and that's what set me up into this business of multi-level marketing, network marketing. It helped. It helped at a time when I needed an additional income, because that was the time when I went through the separation and I needed to earn some money fast. So I was looking for what I can do working from home, and because I was into nutrition, it seemed ideal. And, I've gone on from there. I was with them for a long time. I was with them for about 5 years. So they taught me so much about not only about health and nutrition, but also mindset and self-development, because that's the one thing I would say with any network marketing industry that you go in, doesn't matter what it is, who it is, self-development is the biggest thing you can get from being in a network marketing industry. When you're looking for something, look for something that resonates with you. Look for something that you can affiliate yourself with, that you feel comfortable with. You've also got to look at things like sustainability. Is it sustainable in the marketplace? Who are the company? How long have they been around? Look at things like, well, who are the leaders there? Because if you're with the wrong leader, then it doesn't matter who the company is, you're not going to go anywhere. So you've got to look at the leadership. You've also got to look at things like the products. Are the products something that are needed in the marketplace? And if it's something that is needed, is it something that people will come back and buy on a regular basis? Because if it takes too long for someone to actually come back and buy, will you really be making any profits? Will you be making any money from it? You've got to look at it from a business perspective. Even though in the network marketing industry, you can start a business from very little money, you've got to look at it from day one as a multi-million pound business that you are running. It's not a Mickey Mouse thing. It's not a hobby thing. If you look at it like, okay, so what? It cost me £50 to join or whatever it is. But that business itself could initially turn around and be 100,000, 500,000 turnover in a year, 1 million turnover in a year. Yeah. Or over the years.
Yes.
And that's your business. 1 million. Can you imagine you running a business that has over £1 million turnover as a small business owner for something that you started for £50? That's the value of network marketing. But for someone to go out there, the advice I would give is to make sure that it's sustainable, make sure that the products are something that you would use for yourself, that you would get value from yourself, make sure that it's something that has marketability, that it has longevity in the marketplace. All these things are really important. And also, that the team that you're going into, they have good leadership, they have systems in place, you have support, you have someone that can guide you through the process. So that's what I would say with that.
So what has this multiple stream of income done to your lifestyle? Has it changed your lifestyle? Is there any particular thing you want to share with people about how this has
Most
changed?
definitely, because it's changed the way that I look at life. It's actually allowed me to dream again. When you're working for someone in corporate, it's like they steal your dreams. They pay you just enough money for you to keep going back every month because you need to pay your bills. You're capped by, a certain level in the company. You can only reach a certain level without certain qualifications, or if you're part of the old boy network, then yeah, it's like who you can rise. But if you're outside of that, then your earnings are capped. And the greatest thing with the network marketing business is that your earnings are down to you. And if you don't work, then your business is not going to work. So for me, what I've got out of it, all my journeys, I've got out of it a lot because, oh gosh, there's so much things. I've got companionship, the friends that I keep. I've had cars. I've had laptops out of the industry. And, it's really good, the things that you can do. But also the great thing for me is that I've been able to pay my bills. Initially, when I first started this, it really helped me to pay my bills. It helped me to put food on the table, and even, put petrol in the car at times that I needed it. I know it's not much, but these are little things and the major things that kept my life going at a point in my life when I needed that extra money. Okay. Going on now, I've been in here for a while and it's paid for holidays. Last year, went to Vegas for a convention, but at the same time, I treated my other half to a birthday out there, paid for flights, hotel, all expenses. We did trips, and it was all on the company, on the money that I earned through marketing. So it can be a life changer for people, and it really can make a difference. But you've got to work hard. It's like a job. It's like it's like a 9 to 5, but because you're doing it for yourself, there's no 9 till 5, you're kind of working when you want to work. And I choose to work mainly in the evenings because that's when people have come home from work. And these are the people who are still working full time. I'm lucky and fortunate that I'm able to work for myself because of network marketing. And I use it as a supplement, and it's great.
So one of the things that you need to do as that you need to do is, for me, I think that you need to be able to do what you like, what is in the line of your passion. Like me, I do a travel business as a side gig. First of all, the thing that made me to do a travel business is because I love traveling. I love traveling. And I discovered that getting in the traveling business will make me to be able to fund my trips, to get cheap tickets, to be able to take my family to where I want, to be able to take me to where I want. So I got into this travel business. So one of the things which I always advise when you want to get into something, a business, get into the business in which you are passionate about. Because sometimes it gets so hard that it is the passion that got you into the business that drives you along. Could you speak into that?
Exactly, definitely agree with that because with the industries that I've been in the past, it has been with the passion that I've gone into them, mainly into health businesses because that's where my passion is. I've always been looking at products, looking at what products can help the most people in the ways that we in ways that are sustainable because that's what's really key. It's no point going into a product for a fashion phase because you want to make sure that whatever you get into that this can be sustainable not only for you but also for customers. I mean, I love what I currently do with nutrition because it's something that is close to my heart. It's organic, and there are people out there that are on so many medication as it is. They don't want another tablet to take. They're sick and tired of tablets. They're already taking a handful of them every day. So something like, I've been looking at for things that can help everybody, not just about weight loss, because a lot of these products are on the market are just for weight loss. But what I actually love about where I am now is that you can help people that have issues, health issues, to alleviate that with the supplements that we have. So yeah, just go out there, find your passion, and you'll do well with it, whatever side it is.
So when we were talking yesterday, we talked on a very interesting topic because you did make us to understand that you cook fresh. And I tried to ask, how do we cook fresh in this busy world when you are running to go to work, helter skelter? And you made us to understand that it's possible to eat fresh. So could you share that with our audience so they can also benefit from that?
Yeah, definitely, because I've always been used to cooking from fresh because of my mum, and obviously because I was brought up in the 60s, there wasn't that really many processed foods around. I think the only processed food was fish fingers back then. But for us, it was like, we always had Caribbean food cooked from fresh, and it's something that I've been used to all my life. And even when I had my children, I didn't go out there and buy baby food. Never ever did I buy baby food. They always had fresh vegetables that were mashed, and you can put a little bit of seasoning in there for them. Even though they were babies, they still had seasoning, trust me. But it's so easy to cook food in literally half an hour, 45 minutes in the evenings, less than that sometimes. I eat a lot of fish because fish is just so quick to do, and it's also really good for you as well. And with fish, it's something that you can put in the oven and it's done in 15 minutes, So this is where, as I said to you before, there should be no reason why people cannot eat fresh, because at the end of the day, you can pre-plan your meals. If you're of West Indian origin, from Nigerian or African origin, and some of our foods do take time to prepare, then you can do that at the weekends. So just take time out at the weekends, cook the meats, freeze them, package them, and if you're busy in the week and you just want to, you fancy whether it's a curry goat and rice and or something like that, then you can take it out of the freezer, warm it up, and just cook the rice fresh. It still shouldn't take you that long. So there's no reason that we couldn't eat natural fresh foods. At least you know what you've put into it.
Yes, I want to thank all those who are watching the show live. I can see Rose Ewan watching from Maryland. I can see Sama Ambe. I can see Rodney watching online. Thank you guys for coming online. Chanel, Roselia, thank you for watching. And so I have a question to ask you, Colette, because my husband is watching and I want him to listen to this answer. He suffers from arthritis, BP, and diabetes. What is the advice? What advice can you give to him that can help him to maybe alleviate the pain that he always goes through?
Well, believe it or not, arthritis, dairy and cheese, shouldn't be eating it at all, because they're the things that kind of are really bad for arthritis. But for blood pressure, salt, reduce the salt levels that you're currently putting in your foods. Drastically. And also with blood pressure, you want to look at the type of foods that you're eating as well. So maybe cutting down on starchy foods, carbohydrates, reducing those a little bit, and exercising more, because when your blood pressure is raised, it could mean that you're stressed. And if you're stressed and if you're eating wrong foods, then the blood's restricted, it's not going to flow properly. So by exercising, reducing the carbohydrates, improving on fiber. If you're not eating enough fiber, then increase the fiber, because that will help to pull out the fat and the cholesterol as well. So these are the things that you can do to help improve your diet, or help you to improve things like diabetes, cholesterol, and blood pressure. Particularly, with men, if they start putting weight on around their middle, it's the most dangerous thing for men, because that is where cancer is formed in men. So if they have got a big belly, they need to get that belly down quick. And it's not a pretty thing that I'm saying this for. It's a health thing, because people, if you're carrying that weight around your belly, what actually is happening is you're carrying fat around the organs. And it's that fat that will kill you, not what's outside. If you see it outside, do something about it. But even a slim person can have a lot of fat around their arteries, which is why it's equally important for people who have got diabetes, who have got high blood pressure and cholesterol, to do exactly the same things.
Good. So if somebody were to ask you a quick meal that has everything that you are talking about, like me, somebody like me, I'm very busy. I always like something that takes just between 10 and 15 minutes to do. So what can I do that will be good for my system and will help in my weight loss journey?
Well, just having something like lean protein. So again, a chicken breast, you can grill that in 12 minutes or so. At the same time, you can also have a light salad or steamed vegetables with it, no carbs, just steamed vegetables. And that's filling as well. You've got your fiber, you've got your vegetables, and you've got your protein all on one plate. Something quick like that. You can substitute substitute chicken for fish. That's equally quick to cook. It's just literally put a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of seasoning on there, light seasoning. Put it in the oven for about 12 minutes while you prepare the other foods. So it's like no hassle cooking, because cooking shouldn't really take that long. But at the end of the day, the meal should be nutritious at the same time.
Okay. So I love cheesecakes. I can sometimes I want to stop eating them, but
it doesn't matter. You can have a cheesecake. Make sure that you treat yourself, and that every night. And this is what I mean about the things that you like. Sometimes you kind of got to really question yourself and say, like, actually, is this nutritious for my body? Do I actually need this now, or is it just because I've got the vision of having it in my head? I remember having arguments with my fridge late at night. Can you imagine having an argument with your fridge? Because that's when I used to snack a lot really badly. I used to work in the kitchen, and the kitchens and the fridge is behind you. So you're working away and you're really getting into it. And then all of a sudden, like something in the fridge comes on and makes a noise, doesn't it? It goes, and it kind of reminds you, I'm here, there's food inside me, you know. And I remember going to the fridge and opening the door and just staring and thinking, right, I want to eat something, but is it good for me? Do I really need to eat? Am I hungry? Do I want to eat it now? And then I'd shut the door and go and sit back down. And then I'd hear it again, down here. And I'd open the door and I'd stand at the door and going, but you don't really need it, Colette. You're not hungry. I'm arguing with myself and looking at the food, you know. Yeah. But it took great resolve to be able to do that and just shut the door, turn the computer off and go upstairs to bed. You know what I mean? But there were so many times that I gave in. It's like, all right, then, yeah, I'll have a bit of cheese. You know what I mean? And you take it out and that's it. But I didn't really need it, didn't want it. But it's the fact that the fridge reminded me it was there, you know?
Oh,
thank you, ladies. I just want to remind you guys that it's 1 p.m. We've been on for 1 hour. I know that we've loved and we've enjoyed listening to Colette because she shared a lot of wonderful nuggets with us. But you know what? It's 1 p.m. We'll be here for 1 hour.
Thank you so much. I was just looking at my time and I was just about to round up. Thank you for reminding us. We want to be respectful of the time of our audience. So when we say 12 to 1, we want to be respectful. I know Colette has a lot, and if you don't mind, we will still bring her on the program because she has a lot. This issue of nutrition is something that is really driving a lot of us crazy because I, for one, it's really a weak area in my life. I keep making a lot of resolutions and I never keep them. So I need to be constantly reminded of what the role that nutrition has in my life because I want to live young, live long, and to be young and look like Colette. She told us her age. We were like, girl, you don't look that age, but she's that age because she takes care of herself. So I want to thank you so much, Colette. I don't know if you have one last word for our audience so that we could round up. But as we said, we will put her website at the end of this video. If you want to contact Colette for personal coaching on nutrition, she is just wow. That's what she loves doing. She will walk you through, she will help you and tell you what to do to be in good shape and to be fit. It's not necessarily being slim, but being fit. That's what I think about weight loss. So one last word, Colette, before we sign off.
Yeah, just to love yourselves, guys. Love you for who you are now. And don't beat yourselves up. Just look at the future and the better version you can and practice mindset.
Thank you all for watching. Please do share this video. Love and share this video. Organize a watch party because there are so many people who have not been able to follow this program. And I tell you, the things that Colette said from the beginning, you won't want to miss. If you came into this video halfway, please go back and start from the beginning and listen to what Colette has told us on nutrition. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bridget or Michael. You kept our guests engaged. Thank you for all the welcome and all the thanks. And next week, we'll be bringing Dennis, Mary Dennis. That's another firebrand you won't want to miss. She will be on the show. So Colette, also do share it. I can see Rose Ewang saying, I would like to meet her. I need to be at my best. Okay, Rose, we are going to put a link at the bottom of this video so that you can get to meet Colette and talk to her and you can get to look like she is looking. So thank you so very much. I am your friend Rene Anita, hosting with Bridget O'Michael. We are all executive directors with the John Maxwell team. We are coaches and we have a passion for working with women. That is why we are doing this. Again, as I said from the beginning, that I was dedicating this episode to my niece-in-law, Adeline Sama, who passed away yesterday. And because she would have loved me to do what I'm doing today, because she was one of my cheerleaders and she always supported me in whatever thing I did, whether I was wrong or right. She was one of the person who always supported me. So I think that she would have supported me to host this show. So I thank you so much and God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.